Look where we've arrived today. Good afternoon, folks. I've been flooded with requests to review this car. As soon as we had the opportunity to take it for a test drive, we came straight here. I understand why there's so much excitement. No one has driven it yet, including me. The test car will be here soon, and then I'll take it for a spin. But what I've seen here, and what's on paper, shows that the Chinese have once again broken through the ceiling. Well, now I'll tell you all about it in detail. Make yourselves comfortable. Let's go. So we have a hybrid setup with a total power of 850 horsepower, accelerating from 0 to 100 kilometers in 4.5 seconds. How do you like that? These 850 horsepower are divided between 3 electric motors with a total power output of 700 horsepower and a 150 horsepower 1.5-liter turbo engine.
Geely.
What could be faster? The GLS AMG could be faster with 4.2 acceleration. The X7M could be faster. These cars cost 5 times more than this one. Well, maybe a little less than 5 times. And now I'll explain why, where such incredible power from the Chinese comes for this price. Look, it's all thanks to the electric motors here. The fact is that the Germans are nowhere near capable of delivering 700 horsepower with such engines for this price. This is because it's not Geely that has made a technological breakthrough here. It is the Chinese economy that provides the opportunity to extract components. And they have simply reduced the cost of the process so much at the factories that there, in general, robots are already assembling the vehicles. I generally believe that Chinese manufacturers should not go into the internal combustion engine market at all. It's difficult, expensive, they have no experience, and they will only embarrass themselves. Why? Because an electric motor is a thing that is indestructible, just like the battery. It runs smoothly for 500,000 kilometers. Of course, there are defects. 1 in every 100 cars has some kind of problem, but overall it runs, and runs. Of course, there is no transmission. There's nothing to break, and the battery is just as indestructible, 42 kilowatt hours from Coddle. That's where such a crazy acceleration comes from, seemingly like a budget brand Geely. Wait, that's not all. Suspension. Double wishbone at the front, multi-link at the rear, and double air suspension. That's how it is. Naturally, they cleverly cut costs in some areas here. I can already see that it doesn't drive like a gilevich.eng. I already understand that they couldn't exceed expectations here because, yes, we know that corporations offer more than startups. That is, all these large corporations like Dongfeng, SAIC, FAO, Geely, BYD, and the like. Of course, they offer more car for a certain amount than the well-known gilevich.eng, and even more than some other startups like NIO. Although NIO has recently launched the ES8 quite well, we'll be filming soon. Why? Because they say they have finally produced their own chip, and now they don't need to order them from the Americans. Batteries have become cheaper now. Cattle started offering discounts again, because somewhere the Communist Party had agreed with someone in Latin America that they would extract something even cheaper, and as a result, the price of batteries would be even lower. There's a 20% discount on batteries, I think. Oh, I just leaned over and my side support automatically inflated. There's also active side support. Unbelievable. Look, the gilevich.eng is slightly softer and a bit more firm in its most sporty mode. This car drives nicely, more than worth the money. Quite comfortable. I just hit a manhole on the road, and this car drives like a Lincoln Co. 900, meaning it wobbles. The gilevich.eng performs excellently on the road up to 130, but then it also starts to wobble. And here it feels like you're driving a Toyota. So look, there's a map on the right. On the left, there are some signs, reminders, and more. Augmented reality, and I can change it. Look, I've left only the large map in the center in the settings. This flaps below automatically closes and opens to allow the engine to breathe. They added some glamour to it, you see. Just some sparkles. That shimmer. I don't like that kind of thing. Soft closers. Not for that money. The seat cushion is long enough. Look at what they saved on. I can adjust it up and down. But it's impossible to raise the front part upwards. There's simply no such adjustment. I sit straight, reaching the steering wheel. 2 fingers in front of the knee. If I lie down, that's it. There's not enough space. I wouldn't be able to drive like that. Well, I would have moved back a little then. The person who's taller than me will start having problems here. First and second rows have massage, ventilation, and heating. The third row only has heating, and now we leave the front seat in this position. Let's check how much space is in the back and on the third row. Well, let's do as usual and take a fist. Here I am sitting quite comfortably. Let's move to the third row. And here I have a little less than a fist. Basically, I can't say this row is just for kids. Adults can fit here too. All the seats are made of genuine Napa leather, but not everywhere. Only where I run my finger. In the center where the perforation is, here too. On the sides, it's faux leather. Only the driver's seat allows for side support adjustment, which is also active. It inflates in the direction of the tilt. In terms of finishing materials, this is not the highest quality artificial leather. Other car brands have more expensive options, but this one is slightly above average. I like this little screen the way it was set up. I generally prefer these small screens rather than the old-fashioned ones, which are unnecessary now. We all look at the projector, and by the way, it's right here. A full-fledged, trendy projector with a map and all the details. Mechanical steering wheel height and reach adjustment, gear shift selector on the right. There's a little bit of squeaking here, but otherwise I can see that everything is assembled firmly and securely. Here is a camera that monitors fatigue. Someone's Huawei. Okay, let it be. 50 watts with cooling, then he'll come and pick it up. He's probably already gone somewhere. Just like me, I sometimes come home and realize that I've forgotten something somewhere. On the right is simply a place for a phone without a charger. Is there one on the right too? No, look. There's only one on the left here. That's a trendy thing. We unscrew it and insert all kinds of different gadgets. How does the knob work? Press it once and select the mode you want. If it's sound, for example, now I can adjust the sound by turning the knob. You can select climate control. Now it is the fan speed. You can select temperature control and so on. There's haptic feedback. Well, it doesn't look cheap and rides well with the vibration. There are physical climate control buttons. Covered with fabric. Cool. There are rubber bands there. At the bottom, and the bottom is also covered. From the picture, of course, it's very surprising for this price because it's a Lixiang screen. In terms of image quality, it's a Lixiang screen, but Lixiang's works faster. They saved on chip speed here. I don't see it freezing or glitching. It just takes a little longer to respond. And you can see it on the map, you see, right? Although no, or is it just because of the film? Yes, it's because of the film. We all know the widgets in the menu, yes? Here, obviously, it's all about entertainment. From top to bottom hotkeys. Here everything is covered with faux leather. Then it transitions to bare plastic, a niche, and there are charging ports. A large armrest covered with fabric. There are perfumes that are inserted right here. Regular fabric. The same here. There are light bulbs? Yes, there are. Excellent. 2 sunshades. A physical button for first and for the second row shades. the emergency light. The bulbs are touch sensitive. And there is a built-in dash cam. The passenger on the right was honored with an ottoman. Well, zero gravity is lacking. But at that price, it was to be expected. This seat lacks active side support. 27 Flyam sound speakers, as I mentioned. It's not the best faux leather, just above average, but not the best. Double glazing. Up to this point, everything is soft and pleasant enough. But here, it's just bare plastic. This is the very same Tor 2.0 hybrid system with the best thermal efficiency in the world. They claim a fuel consumption of 5.5 liters according to CLTC. I drove a Li 9 for 2 years. They claim 6.5 according to CLTC. In reality, I had 8, but we have eternal summer here, so here it will be about 2 liters more, which means 7.5. In terms of high speed, it is a parallel hybrid, which means it can handle speeds of 160 and 170 kilometers per hour without any problems. Unfortunately, I cannot check it. How nice it is to be a corporation, right? Let's say gilevich.eng creates a platform and develops an autopilot system exclusively for its own brand, and collects data specifically for its own brand's autopilot system. These guys have the same autopilot on this M9, Lynk & Co 900, Zeekr 9X, and some Volvo model. I haven't been following it for a long time. Accordingly, it is cheaper for them. Next, when they order something from suppliers, they buy in even larger quantities and get better prices. Moving on, the 1.5 engine, which is also used in Lynk & Co, as well as in some Volvo models and so on. If Geely were a standalone budget brand, would it have gotten a car like this, with such electric motors and suspension at this price? Of course not. It simply wouldn't be financially feasible. The electric motors here are powerful, and they are also used in all their brands. In general, it is easier for a large corporation to achieve all this than for a single brand, which is why we get such a car. The battery is a 42 kilowatt-hour cattle. They promise 210 kilometers according to CLTC, but in reality it will be around 150 in the summer and probably 100 in the cold winter approximately. I can't even believe that Geely can accelerate like that. Can you imagine? For that price, you can even adjust the responsiveness of the steering wheel, make it tighter. Damn, to be honest, I don't even know what to complain about. Well, I want to raise the seat a little bit. I just slide down. I don't like it. The side support is great. I adjusted it myself. Everything is fine, but why can't the seat be raised? Darn, how could they mess up like that? It's not that expensive. It needed to be done. But you see, they had to cut corners here and there to hit that price point. That's why it's like this. The second row, the captain on the right is a very important person. Let's move there right away and take a look. We can respect the captain by folding down the front seat. I wonder if it will fold down completely. And I have a footrest here, by the way, I can say that. No, my feet don't dangle. They're right on the footrest. We have massage, ventilation, and heating here. There is an internal camera. There are some kind of sensors. Okay, it's clear, and there is a screen. If the captain is on the right, then the captain's adjutant is on the left, so he is not entitled to an ottoman. There is a small table for the captain. There's a small screen here. And what? And there's a refrigerator. Well, everything's fine. 2 charging ports. Here's climate control and controls for massage, ventilation, and heating. Touch buttons. Everything is the same as in the third row. The materials here are the same as everywhere else. Oh, hold on. Yeah, look, the window opens fully. There was double glazing here. Interestingly, the refrigerator here is also covered with faux leather. It's not plastic. The passenger on the right can be moved if desired. A 17-inch ceiling screen. And once again, I am amazed at how quickly the Chinese are developing. Remember the Hi-Fi X, which was quite expensive 4 years ago? Its screen was worse than this one for this price. It's just amazing how fast they are developing. The screen is the same as in the L9. I don't feel any difference at all. An awesome picture. I don't know. Let's just check how it performs in terms of speed. Well, it's a bit slower. The chip is just weaker, but the picture is amazing. On the third row, you can adjust the backrest. And I can turn on the heating. Here I have bare plastic. Here is faux leather. The faux leather is the same as everywhere. Below is fabric. Let's take a look in the trunk. The button is here. Well, it's got a nice backside. Here they tell you right away, 328 liters. And there's a niche. That's cool. In the showroom, there is a version without air suspension. But we have one with air on the test drive. I'll show you in the test drive car, but there's no button to play with the suspension here, if your bags are heavy. Yes. You see, here you have the option to raise or lower the suspension. The maximum wheels are 21 inches, 265 by 45. Disc brakes are ventilated all around. They come in different types. You can even go for the 20s, like these ones. 265 by 50, they'll be softer. Let's take a look under the hood. They didn't have the budget to cover it. There is a gas supports and soundproofing. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 on that side, 8, 9, 10 on the bumper, and 2 here. 12. Almost forgot the most important thing. There's also autopilot here and auto parking. That's all for now. Thank you for your attention. Take care of yourselves and your loved ones. Stay with us and see you next time.